All right, sorry about that. I was muted. Let me start again. Oh, come on. My apologies. So, welcome again to the infrastructure group conversation. Another chat message. Perfect, fantastic. This is the first one for 2019 for us, so we're excited to share the work that we're focusing on this quarter. I'll talk a little bit about focus and strategy. I will also speak about how we're growing the team, then go back and talk about how we're hopefully improving the communications for infrastructure and how we're managing the workload. And finally, I'll give some highlights on this quarter's OKRs. So in terms of focus and strategy, this is another iteration of a slide that you've probably seen before, where we just want to make GitLab.com rock solid. We want to make sure that it's ready for mission critical customer workloads. And so that entails ensuring that the work that we do on the site, the work that we do on GitLab.com is as predictable as possible. When it was just the SRE teams, we were really focused on essentially making sure that we failed as little as possible. That's the mean time between failures going to infinity. And that if we fail, we could recover as quickly as possible. Now we're layering the delivery team who is tasked with implementing CI/CD for GitLab.com and essentially how we develop GitLab, which is a key component for us to be able to essentially achieve the reliability goals of fail as little as possible, but recover as quickly as possible when we do fail. In terms of growing the infrastructure team, we have two new members that joined in January, Casey and Anthony. Casey is a DBRE focused on Postgres, and Anthony is a manager in reliability. And then next month, we're still seeing the title slide. Why? Let me reshare and see if that's a problem. Okay, do folks see new hires? Excellent, thank you. So as I was saying, we welcome Casey and Anthony, and then we're expecting a new member in DBRE to join us next month from India. We're also adding new roles to infrastructure. The environment is growing, the complexity of the environment is growing, and that also means that we're consuming more resources and more money. So we want to make sure that we optimize those two. So we've added an operation analyst. This person is focused on resource utilization and forecasting and has to understand financial models. And it's also responsible for the management of departmental KPIs. How many points, what is our speed of work, service levels, and our budgets. Additionally, we're adding some backend engineering to the team. There's a lot of work that happens in engineering that is geared towards the product features. And there's a significant amount of work that is geared towards reliability. We want to make sure we have some internal resources that are solely focusing on optimization of resources, of infrastructure resources from an application point of view. So these two positions will report to Maren, but they will be separate from delivery. They will be focused on this role from a very different point of view. So this is another iteration of a diagram that I've been working on since I joined the company and we started changing the structure of the group. You can go and see our team page to read more about why we've decided to tackle this problem, tackle this way. We're still seeing the title slide. Still seeing the title slide? No? Okay. All right. Now I'll speak about communications and workload management. We've been working to essentially make sure that we manage expectations better. And to do that, we're trying to work on how we communicate with the rest of the company. So we want to make sure that people can find the information they need about infrastructure. And we want to make sure that we have some guaranteed channels. There is always Slack, but there are some other ways in which we can communicate asynchronously, don't require Slack. So in terms of documents, we've been working on these two types of documents, blueprints and design. Blueprints essentially scope problems and provide options on how we might solve a problem, and they provide some background on work that we may have done on this problem already. And then those will actually yield a design document, which is how we intend to actually solve the problem that we scoped on the blueprint. They're not complex or long documents. They're not 90-page, essentially super detailed documents, but they do intend to set the path that we intend to follow to solve some of the difficult problems we're working on. I also wanted to talk about 4 weekly meetings that are happening in infrastructure. The first one is the infrastructure call we revamped about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We felt we needed to give it a slightly different angle now that things were more stable. You'll hear the usual announcements, but we're also going to announce and discuss some of the updates, the important updates that we're doing to the handbook on any given week. Production event discussions in terms of incidents, changes and deltas, and then the usual open agenda for folks to add items that they would like to discuss. The DNA meeting is a new meeting. We started this meeting 2 weeks ago. DNA stands for Design and Automation and is a purely technical meeting. Blueprints and designs are the input into this meeting. So once we've written some of these documents, we bring them to the meeting so that we have essentially what to discuss when we're seeking feedback from teammates. Obviously, some of this happens during the MR conversation, but sometimes it's just good to have 3 or 4 people in real time be talking and discussing technical problems. Managers do attend these meetings, but they don't wear their management hats. And project and deadline and status conversations are not a part of this meeting. Every team in infrastructure has their own staff meeting. They tend to happen early in the week so that the team can organize itself for the week. And then managers also meet on a weekly basis to essentially discuss items at the infrastructure level. I did want to mention for the DNA meeting, currently the invitation only includes infrastructure staff, but anyone is welcome in this meeting. As long as you want to hear and participate in technical conversations, the meeting is open for anyone who wants to join, and we welcome anyone who can contribute to these conversations. The agenda is published, so if there's some area that you're familiar with and want to join the conversation, by all means, do so. In terms of workload management, again, another iteration on how we use OKRs. We're now tracking them as epics in GitLab itself. And one of the items, I spoke about blueprints. All of our key results now have blueprints. So we do write some documents for the KRs to make sure that we're scoping them correctly and that we know what we intend to deliver. KRs are supposed to be these very measurable things. We're still in our infancy on how we use them, so we tend to have them very project focused. We intend to iterate and improve on that. But for now, we do feel that having these blueprints help us to scope what the KRs need to yield. I also wanted to highlight infrastructure as a whole works with milestones. Every team in infrastructure has their own milestone, and these have a 2-week cadence. So if there's work that you need from infra, open issues, and then make sure you talk to managers so that we get them scheduled in the right milestone, depending on the priority that you need for something. The more we can plan, the better we can help everybody. Finally, there's this side project called Glocker. It essentially is a tool that we're writing to traverse the epics that we're creating. Now that we have parent-child epics, essentially objectives have key results have epics, and then those epics contain issues. So the idea is that from a given master OKR, we can go all the way down to the issues, and through issue weights, we can calculate how we're evolving through the quarter. So there is some more data on the handbook about this. Finally, just some highlights on the work that we're doing this quarter. Andrew is focusing on distributed tasting and Puma, which are quite exciting to have this work finally happen. Delivery has their work cut out for them because they intend to merge the CE and EE code bases. Marion has written an amazing design document on how they intend to deliver this. And they're also doing some improvements to improve our ability to roll back changes that go sideways. Anthony's reliability team is focused on our budgets and creating testing environments that are more closely aligned with the scale of production. Dave's reliability team is working on foundational subsystems such as Kubernetes and storage. We intend to deploy CFS to use some of the snapshot and cloning features to provide higher availability. And these tie directly into the testing environments. This is how we intend to provide production scale data at a reasonable cost to the testing environments. And finally, Jose's team is focused on improving database operations, vacuuming and packing and stuff that is almost nonsensical to me, but they know what they're doing, so it's fantastic. And then they're working, as you know, we deployed Petroni for HA for Postgres last quarter, and now we're doing the work to have that functionality in self-managed. So full quarter, lots of good stuff, lots of good stuff happening. That completes my. Whew. Let's see if I find where's the chat now. Okay, I don't see any questions. I just want to make sure that no one is asking questions because obviously today I'm having a bad Zoom day. So, well, if there are no questions, thank you so much for coming and joining us. If you do have any questions later, just feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to talk more about this. Thank you, everyone.